Hey guys, welcome to Traveling on the Go. I'm sitting here at Tonle Sap Lake in Cambodia outside of Siem Reap. This is one of the most unique lakes in the world. We're going to get into it, something that you're never going to expect. Let's go.
There's a lake in Cambodia that challenges what you thought you knew about lakes. I went there expecting water. I found something far different than what I expected. A floating world of homes, schools, temples, entire villages drifting with the seasons, moving a rhythm older than memory. At first glance, it looks calm, ordinary, but this lake moves in ways no other lake on earth does. And when it does, it transforms everything, feeding millions, shaping kingdoms, even building empires. Centuries ago, this place helped power the rise of Angkor Wat, a vast empire. Today, it still feeds farmers, fishers, and floating families. But something's changed. The patterns are breaking, the pulse is weaker, the people can feel it, but no one's quite sure what's behind it. Therefore, this isn't just a story about a lake. It's about a mystery of water, power, and survival at the edge of collapse. How can a lake that rewrote the rules of nature begin to disappear? Let's find out. Traveling on the Go starts now.
Hey guys, I'm sitting here at Tonle Sap Lake in Cambodia. This is outside of Siem Reap. Getting ready to get on the boat right now. And this lake has something extremely special, not to mention a floating village. So we're gonna go ahead and check it out. There's a lot more going on than you think. Let's go. So guys, this is the biggest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia. This is about 25 minutes away from Siem Reap. You can get here pretty easy by tuk-tuk. And right now the water is very low. It's a dry season. But hopefully later we're going to see some of the floating village. And I'm gonna get into this story a lot more. Let's go. But as the dry season hits right now, you can see 2 or 3 layers up on the land. The water goes that much higher, another 15 feet maybe. And how the people live here and the floating village is something that you don't see very often. So Tonle Sap Lake, there are a number of challenges along the way here. Deforestation, pollution in the water, overfishing, and now China is damming parts of the Mekong River, making this whole region a lot less productive than it was before. As you can see, the water level is getting very low out here, so they have some help. They're digging deeper so the boats can get through as you go out to the lake and come back. This is an ongoing process in the dry season. So Tonle Sap Lake, this is the only lake in the world, or one of very, very few, that has reverse flow with the Mekong River nearby. And I'm gonna actually break it down a lot simpler so you know what I'm talking about. So on this lake, how does this reverse flow actually work? Well, during the rainy season, as the water rises in the Mekong River not far away from the lake, it actually pushes the water back into this lake, rising it up and doing something that no lakes on earth really do.
So in the monsoon season, you're going to see 3.5 to 5 months. It's going to raise this whole area up to 30 feet, which is just unheard of. This is what it actually looks like in the wet or monsoon season. So absolutely phenomenal. and this is going to create 75% of Cambodia's inland fish are caught here. Just an amazing figure. And then in the dry season, it returns to normal as the water goes to the Mekong. And this is what it looks like in the dry season. So how is this lake different from another lake? It's going to expand 5 times bigger. It's going to have that reverse flow, and people are living on there. If you want more proof, let's look at the Angkor Empire in the 12th century. How a lake gave rise to an empire. This is straightforward. Water equals power. So much water. Rice and fish are going to equal bigger armies and population, not to mention transport and trading of fish and farming. And this empire was gigantic. It covered an area of 160,000 square miles.
Now, one of the big problems recently is China has dammed some of the flows with the Mekong River, creating some hardships and less water for this region. Normally, when that reverse flow is going back and forth.
Let's take a look at one of the larger maps, and what you can see from the key factors. These dams control over 50% of the river's flow into Southeast Asia. Just mind-blowing. Let's continue on our journey and make it to this lake that I've heard so much about.
So in the center of the floating village here, and I'll put the name down below, the exact village, the water is getting too low. We can't go through the center of it, but we're going to go through part of it. You're going to see how these people live a little bit and just how difficult it is, especially with the water getting lower and lower each year. So around the early 80s is when my driver thinks that this place started. That makes a lot of sense. After the Khmer Rouge came in, which was a brutal period in time for Cambodia where millions died, I'm sure some took refuge way out here, but then others started new lives. And so around 1980-ish, 1985, this whole floating village, along with some others along the coast, started. There are 3 main religions out here, which is really interesting. My boat driver was just telling me: Christian, Muslim, and Buddhist. And the Christian side is actually more Vietnamese. Now, I was reading before, the Vietnamese a long time ago, a small grouping of people that got larger, they were displaced, they had nowhere to go, maybe after the Vietnam War, I'm not really sure, and came out here and just continued to live out here. So behind me right there is a fish farm. So a lot of people out here, that's one type of way, or the main way really, that they're going to survive. Put little fish farms, they make it out of wood, bamboo, whatever they have, and put it together. So we took a break at the floating village. Now, there's a school, I believe, right over there. So a lot of the kids go to school here. There's no hospital, obviously, not really a doctor. So when they have a problem, they have to go inland, maybe an hour, hour and a half to the local hospital. So that is a big issue. The lake is absolutely massive. You feel like you're at the ocean, actually. And just a whole different way to live and kind of enjoy life. Just a completely different lifestyle. So unfortunately here they do have a little area where they've trapped a lot of crocodiles and they feed them in there. Kind of turned it into a spectacle. Not gonna really spend any time doing that. I feel bad for the animals there, even crocodiles. They're smaller, but it shows you in this lake, crocodiles, giant stingrays, some of the biggest in the world. They're also really in the Mekong River, and a lot more. Turtles, everything like that. So this lake is teeming with a lot of different species. That's going to wrap it up here for Traveling on the Go in this episode. Thanks so much if you got all the way to the end of the episode. I do appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments,
I am here to help you out. You never know unless you try. Take care, guys.